Hello and welcome to Mindful Monday. If it's your first Mindful Monday, feel free to write in the comments where you're coming from, if you have any questions. Also, if it's your first Mindful Monday and you type mindful in comments, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the repeat later on, that'll get you into our PDF. We'll send a link to you there, and then you'll get our weekly PDF that is kind of a little rundown of what we go over on Mindful Monday. So today we're here to talk about how to utilize the love languages with matching and mirror, which are NLP techniques, to get what you want. So in NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, a lot of us incorporate that into our hypnosis practices. We talk about mirroring and matching others' gestures, their language patterns, their submodalities, and more. Because we naturally like folks who are similar to us, at least at a subconscious level. So when we talk about submodalities, we're talking about the three main ones, which are going to be visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. So if I wanted to get a point across to, and we all have all of them, but if I wanted to get a point across to someone who is primarily visual, I'd say, "Did you see my point?" And if I wanted to do the same with someone who is primarily auditory, I'd say, "Do you hear what I'm saying?" And if it was someone who is kinesthetic, I might say, "Do you get what I'm talking about?" So just little nuances of how we can match and mirror even language patterns and what we are talking in, the terms we speak in. So there are 5 love languages. These are created by Gary Chapman, probably about 30 years ago. So the first one is going to be words of affirmation. And so someone who likes words of affirmation, they like expressing affection through spoken words, praise, compliments, or appreciation that way. And so this person is going to enjoy kind words, love notes, uplifting quotes, or text messages. Now, if you are one of the love languages who like quality time, then that means you like having another's undivided attention, and you'll enjoy others being completely focused and present with you. And so that would mean putting down cell phones, electronics, turning them off, making eye contact, and actively listening. The third one is physical touch, and that's obviously actual physical contact. So someone who has this as their main love language enjoys hand-holding, cuddling, hugs, having their arm touched while in conversation. The fourth one is acts of service, and so this is doing nice things for someone. Someone who has this as their love language, which would be my favorite love language, enjoys someone who does tasks for them and helps them out or frees up their time. So it might be running errands or doing household chores. And then the fifth one is receiving gifts, and this is giving meaningful tokens of appreciation. And the person who has this as their love language enjoys small little gifts because it means that they're being thought of. And it doesn't even have to cost money. It can just be a little token. It could be, "Oh, I picked you a flower," or "I found this pebble," or something like that. So you are most likely to subconsciously treat others the way you prefer to be treated, meaning that if your love language is words of affirmation, you're likely going to speak your praise and appreciation to others, whether or not that's their primary love language. So my partner, his is words of affirmation and mine is acts of service. So I have to remember this all the time. So this is where we get into the mirror and matching. So because he is words of affirmation, he's always like, "Oh, I did this, I did that." And so I'm like, "Okay, good." But then I have to remember that that's his love language. So I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much." And then I have to praise that. Whereas mine is acts of service. So when I do a good job at something, I'm intrinsically satisfied. So I like if somebody helps me out, kind of helps me do the dishes or something, because I'm always running around. So it's little interesting things like that make us different and unique, but that we can mirror and match and kind of get ourselves on better track, get along better kind of things. And this is not just for a relationship, a romantic one. It can be at work, it can be with friends, etc. For instance, one of my friends, her main love language is quality time, and so she wants undivided attention, but her time is her most valuable asset, she says. So that's kind of her thing. And she gets kind of uncomfortable if I start doing things for her, like my little acts of service. So mirroring and matching, you have to watch what yours is compared to what others' love languages are. So just little interesting tidbits there, and you can use that NLP mirror match to kind of get along better kind of thing. And so this is kind of interesting. Of course, it varies a little bit by gender and age, but in the US, the main love language is quality time, and that's about 38% of the population. Physical touch comes in number 2 at 24%. Words of affirmation are around 19%, and then acts of service is 13%, followed by receiving gifts at 7%. So if you're not kind of in a relationship, or if you want to kind of take care of yourself, especially because the holidays are coming up, you can also use the love languages to treat yourself if you know what your main love language is. So for instance, if your love language is words of affirmation, you might journal or do daily gratitude lists. You might collect inspirational quotes or poetry. You might even write poetry. You might write a letter to your younger self or your future self. So that's a way of honoring yourself with the love languages. You can also do quality time if that's your love language by taking a walk, by meditating, maybe cooking a healthy meal for yourself. You can also get up early and watch the sunrise, or alternatively, you can make time to watch the sunset if you're not an early morning riser like I am. And then if it's physical touch that you like, you can really focus on exercise, stretching. You can soak in a bubble bath. You can do Abhyanga, that Ayurvedic self-oil massage. You can do a facial for yourself or a manicure, pedicure. And if your love language is acts of service, these are mine, you can organize your space. I'm always organizing my space. I feel so much peace and calm if my space is organized. You can make sure you make your bed every morning. That kind of gets you in the flow. And my number 1, make your to-do list the night before so you know what you're up to. And if your main love language is receiving gifts, you can eat at your favorite restaurant. You can treat yourself to something you've been wanting for a while. And you can pick or buy yourself flowers if you want to do something inexpensive, or you can do something off your bucket list. All right, so that's all we have for today. That's our little love languages talk. And we'd love to hear any other topics that you guys are interested in. So please feel free to DM me or write it in the comments. So thank you so much and have a wonderful Mindful Monday. Bye.